About 2 weeks ago, a group of thieves made off with over $100 million worth of jewels that they stole from the Louvre. You might have heard of that place before. It's pretty well known, nearly as famous as the Florida Citrus Center. The Louvre houses innumerable, priceless art and jewels. Now, I don't know about all of you, but for me, whenever I hear the Louvre, the first thing that pops into my head is that episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog where all the art starts coming to life. And kind of similar to Courage the Cowardly Dog, the way that they stole these items is actually cartoonish. It's like actual Neanderthal mode thinking here. So what they did is they got this big ladder, this lift, they drove it up, and then extended it to the second floor, broke in through the second floor window, equipped with angle grinders, and then just went to town on the displays. But the displays were pretty resilient, so it wasn't enough. Like, the gadgets they brought weren't enough, so they just threw away the doodads, they disarmed themselves, and apparently started like shoulder bashing it and elbowing it until it finally gave way and they were able to lift the jewels out of there. And security guards did actually arrive, which is why we have this footage here, but they were worried that the thieves could have been armed. So they did arrive at the scene, but it didn't turn into like an action movie moment or anything where they started doing like fucking martial arts on each other trying to stop the thieves. They reported to the scene, called the authorities, but the thieves were in and out in about 7 minutes. So they were able to steal over $100 million worth of jewels through this method. They then took the tools with them, as I understand it, and then they left on this lift, and we have footage of them leaving.
This video filmed by security guards in the Louvre shows two robbers leaving the crime scene. They make their way down with a boom lift stationed outside and escape on two scooters just seconds before the police arrive.
Plans don't get more simple than that, and most people, myself included, are very surprised at how easy that appeared to be. And according to some of the French officials, they're also pretty shocked that security was so lax and pretty outdated. So, a very simple plan, sometimes caveman brain is best brain, where you just go and you hit it with an angle grinder and a little elbow grease, and then they make their way out there with $100 million worth of jewels. Now, there have been 5 arrests, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, but they have not recovered any of the stolen jewels here. And the fear is that they are in the process or already have dismantled them so they can sell them, because you can't really sell them as is. These are extremely recognizable, easily identifiable, famous pieces. Who's going to be buying that for $100 million? Fucking Dr. Evil? Like, you're not going to find someone that's going to buy them as is, because then it would easily lead to their arrest. There's no wiggle room to weasel your way out saying, oh, I didn't know that this treasured French jewel was, stolen. Like, it's clearly never going to be sold like that. It's not like a movie where you could sell the fucking Statue of Liberty and some dude will put it in his backyard, some, like, obscenely rich guy. Like, that's just not how it works. So, what they believe is currently going on is that they are dismantling the jewels carefully to keep everything intact so they can sell the jewels individually as opposed to just like an altogether piece, meaning all of these could be lost, destroyed, and that's maybe why they haven't been able to recover it right now. But they're holding on to hope that they're still all together, but I guess we'll see. They have made 5 arrests, so let's go ahead and quickly go over that.
Turning our attention now to Paris, where 5 additional suspects are now in custody, arrested in connection with that daring heist at the Louvre that stunned the world earlier this month. Into custody over the weekend. Despite the arrest, the stolen jewels, worth over $100 million, have yet to be recovered.
So here's where things got a little messy and hard to understand for me. So CNN mentions that there have been 5 people that have been taken into custody, arrested in connection to this. I read something from the BBC that 3 of them have been released without charge. And some sources are saying that, not everyone that's been arrested was, present at the scene. They believe that they could be instrumental in getting more clues about the people that were there. What is confirmed is it was a 4-man team. There were 4 men present. There were the guy who drove the truck, another guy that stood behind, at the truck where they pretended like it was renovations, and then the 2 people that actually went in and got the jewels. So it was a 4-man team. They made 5 arrests. Of those arrests, one of them is a woman who is connected to one of the people that they arrested. They believe she is an accomplice that can be helpful in getting more breadcrumbs for them to follow. And then DNA evidence. This is where it got really, fucking muddy for me, because It seems like at least one of the people that was directly involved in stealing the jewels has been linked to this via DNA evidence. But then I also saw that they used DNA evidence to link other people to it as well, but then that got contradicted by other sources. And I saw the word DNA used so many times here, it made me think that they must have just went here fucking full of cum or something, spreading it all over the Louvre, because it sounds like they had so much DNA out the wazoo, shit must have looked like a porn shoot.
Well, as you say, we do understand that one of these latest 5 arrested is one of those who was here on that day. Of course, those 2 that had been arrested over the weekend, also part of that 4-man team. These 2 had been known to police. It was DNA samples that had matched them to the scene of the crime. This latest arrest of one of those 4 also tied to the scene of the crime, we understand, by DNA. As to the other 4...
Now, I think there might be some kind of like translation error sometimes, which would explain the discrepancy and why not all sources are agreeing on the amount of DNA evidence used here. But I'm still going to give you like a montage of all of the ones that have DNA evidence cited as how they were linked. The one that seems to be agreed upon across most sources here is that this 37-year-old man had his DNA found inside the basket lift that was used to get to the second floor and also escape after they stole the jewels. He is claiming that he hasn't done it. The Paris prosecutor said he's denying involvement, so he's hitting him with that classic Patrick Star, is this your wallet? No, but it has your name on it? No. But across most sources I can find, they all agree that his DNA was found inside that basket lift. Another person arrested in connection to this heist was a 34-year-old Algerian national who was arrested while trying to fly to Algeria. Apparently, they had found his DNA matched on a scooter that was used in the getaway. And then finally, the 38-year-old woman who is actually the partner of the 37-year-old man. They have children together, and a small amount of her DNA was found in that basket lift, which could have been possible because, maybe she had, left something or whatever on him, which is then transferred to the lift when he got in it. Now, again, like I said, across a bunch of sources that I was reading, some of which were translated, some of them didn't mention the DNA evidence used in, the 38-year-old woman or the 34-year-old man. The main one that I saw that everyone seems to agree that DNA that has, hard linked them is that 37-year-old in the basket lift. But anyway, it sounds like they had arrested 5 suspects here. Some may have been released, but it looks like they're hot on their tail, but have yet to recover the jewelry. They continue to search for it and try to get all of the items back. I guess we'll see how it goes, but what a crazy fucking heist. Over $100 million worth of this jewelry. I have to imagine that they haven't sold any of it yet, would be my guess. Pretty much every official is saying that this is not like a professional, ordeal. This was not carried out by, Ocean's 11 style geniuses, galaxy brain scheme or anything. These are petty criminals that just did a very simple idea that worked. And I think they're right. This does not seem like the work of some highly organized professional crime unit or anything here. This really does seem like a group of goobers got together and said, what if we took a lift to the Louvre to get to the second floor real quick and then take some angle grinders to the displays? Anyone could hatch that idea. That's pretty, low neuron activation scheming. So I think they're right. These probably are petty criminals, which leads me to believe they probably haven't started dismantling any of the jewelry yet, because they're probably still trying to figure out how the fuck to do that. Or maybe they're so brazen that they're trying to find buyers for it as is, which is not going to be super quick. So I think there is a good chance that they do recover the jewelry. It's just a matter of when. It seems like they have narrowed in, at least on some very, likely suspects here that are in connection to this possibly. So I guess we'll see how it all shakes down. But anyway, I wanted to yap about this a bit because it really is one of the craziest jewelry heists in modern day. That is an unbelievable haul to make off with from one of the most famous locations on the planet, full stop, the Louvre. That's crazy. So anyway, just wanted to talk about it a bit. That's it. See ya.